Well, good morning, guys. Welcome to our June 25th crop update. We had a good week, no rain. Very cool. Very cool on the mornings. I mean, our mornings were only 50 degrees. It's like 6:30, just after 6:30 a.m. now, and I'm cold. Cold. I sat in the tractor for the last hour and a half finishing up France corn side dressing. Now I got a break before I get down to Weechman's corn for side dressing so I can take care of fencing and soybean fertility and some other issues. But I'm cold. I refuse to turn the heat on in that cab, thinking any minute the sun is going to come out, and you can see behind me that's the east, and then the sun is behind some dark clouds. And there's just a couple mile an hour, just a tiny breeze. And it's kind of cold. The sun intensity is hot. I mean, you got that early July sun intensity. So we've had good solar activity, even though the GDU units, or the GDU, obviously units, the GDUs haven't been there quite that, I think we're still doing pretty okay. We're still ahead of schedule or on schedule for seasonal averages. So I have no complaints of weather. The overnight's been a little cool, but that's okay. We're coming into July, August. The hot overnights potentially are coming along. Soybean side, you can see soybeans, a little bit of yellowing from the coolness and some cloudiness. Overall, soybeans are looking super gorgeous. Let me spin the camera around. Right here, we're back on Timmy field number 1, and this is the field that we say failed last year, and it is looking great. It is looking great. So like I said in the other videos, every time I come out, everywhere you can see grass, there were 0 beans last year. Basically this whole bottom spot was 0 yield, and there was a big path that ran at an angle up there, and then from the draw over there up to them poles. Yeah, there was a lot of 0 spots out here, but this year it is just row after row after row, and it's looking gorgeous. So this week we're gonna get out here with some sulfur. We got P and K under the beans in this field because we strip tilled, so we got to just get some sulfur out here for these guys. I don't know. It's, we're coming into July. Vegetative growth at this point on beans, to me, is irrelevant. I do not get excited. I get excited because of, okay, we got a full row and it's looking great. Traditionally speaking, when we did full tillage, you could look like this in July, early July, and at the end of August, you could have sticks standing because they were dropping pods big time. They're just no water, so they just drop pods, and then if we do get water soon enough, they'll remake a pod and it will mature. If they make it too late, then you end up with a bunch of green pods and it's a disaster. So our July, August are extremely important to us, and that is why I am trying to do what I can do to hold any moisture I can so we can survive the dry spells. I'm trying to drought proof my ground, and that is when soybeans will come alive. So at this point, they look great, but it is way too early to start counting your chickens before they're hatched. All the soybean fields are looking super good. Some of them are more bushy than others. That's how soybeans go. Yeah, but otherwise, as far as all the soybean acres go, I have no complaints this year. I don't know, off of 200 acres of beans, we literally have, 1 to 2 acres maybe that are going to be bad. I mean, it's just a fantastic looking crop year. So yeah, let's run down to the Weechman corn and see how that late field is coming along. Right here is the new 120 to me. This is the spot where a couple weeks ago I was deciding on doing the 3-pass or not. But the corn this year is just doing awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This corn is already knee-high corn on me and my 5'6" stature. More like a 6'5", but joke from another video from Farmall Fanatic. But no, it is looking fantastic. There are spots that if I can fine-tune this 3-pass program, so I can't go into waist high and rib high corn with my equipment, so we need to figure out how to do the best we can with nitrogen beforehand. So there are spots, you know, this blow sand corner here could really benefit from a 3-pass system. That just means I have to make that first pass earlier, and then the second pass when I made it, and the third pass here at the end of June, beginning of July. But this corn still looks very good, and it will still be on time, on schedule. That corn, if I come in here at the end of this week, if I get time to come in at the end of this week with the nitrogen, this corn will still almost make knee high by the 4th of July. It should. We got some heat coming. We got water here. Even this blow sand is holding some water. Now, you know, you get 2 weeks straight of 85-degree sunshine with some breeze, and it'll be a different story. But we got shade coming from the plant pretty soon. We got good heat. And the next 2-week forecast shows a lot of good 80s to upper 80s heat, which is perfect. Our overnights start bumping into the 60s, which is awesome. So by the end of this week, if I can get the second pass of nitrogen out here, this field is going to be on fire. That field will catch up, and man, oh man, it is just going to be gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. It's going to be big corn and make a big yield. I'm excited. I am really excited. I'm relieved. I was nervous about this farm just because you never know. But it's working so far. I think what really helps us tremendously is that banding on this type of soil, that banding of that nitrogen big time. I mean, you can see when it's when it's large granules like that, you can see the size of the granules on the surface. There's no way that kind of materials is holding anything very long, and that's why I keep pushing this band drum. I keep beating that drum, because that soil, it's low on P, it's low on K, it's low on calcium. It can't hold water, nitrogen, or sulfur. We need to band, and it's paying off, because if we looked at the amount of applied nitrogen I've put on this corn versus what would be recommended if we were doing broadcast urea, I think a few of the neighbors would be like, whoa, wow, he's running a 100-bushel program. And I kind of am. My dollars per bushel is tremendously lower than the recommended rates that the co-ops give out. And, you know, they don't make that up. It's just charts. I don't know where they get the data from, but yeah, anyhow, corn this week is awesome. The corn at the home place and the France farm really took off. The France farm corn really took off. Corn at the home place is just awesome, just awesome. So that's corn. Soybeans, we'll head on over to the cover crop pasture, and we will take a look at the oats and soybeans and see how they're coming along. Pasture mix. Oh boy, look at that. That is waist high of thickness. The oats are headed out, starting on their dry down period or starting on their grain fill time. There's lots of alfalfa down here. I bet we could find some clover. There is vetch in the corner over there. There's a big patch of vetch that's already headed out. Big purple, makes a bright purple like alfalfa. I don't know if I could find any over here. I tried. Sometimes there's some clover. Sometimes it's hard to find them other species. And other times they might just be laying there waiting. There's a tall alfalfa. It might just be way down there, you know, that vetch.
And who knows, maybe the ryegrass and stuff is just too thick for it. Here's the ryegrass. Yeah. Next Monday, so today's Monday, so next Monday we'll get a couple steers out here. And look at the oats right there. Man, oh man, when them oats head out, them steers will love it. And they'll love it right now. It's just an oatlage. Gosh, there is some tonnage here. The radish, they're starting to fill the tubers now. All spring. They were never really growing out of the ground. Like this one, here's a stalk. You can see it's still right flush to the ground. But they're starting to fill, so now when you pull them, they're starting to get some size to it. But they've got such a root going down that even when they're not much bigger than a carrot, you pull out, it ain't much bigger than a carrot, but it had such a tremendous taproot on it. Pull this guy out. I'm sorry, that was an oat I just pulled out. I don't know what I was thinking. But look how soft. Gosh alrighty. That was just gorgeous. Let's follow. You can see that it's just starting to heave the soil, and the soil just starting to crack around them. So they're just starting now to get enough nitrogen. So that little tiny carrot, but you can picture that taproot just continuing on. We'll just put him right back where we found him. Yeah, this is just gorgeous. There's so much tonnage here. Even if you get 15 steers out here by fall time and they can't clean it all up, that is okay. Because look at all the P and the K that has been recycled from the ground. Look at picture all the roots that are in the soil, feeding these guys that are making channels for our water and our oxygen and our worms and all the food for our microorganisms. Oh, baby. This is so gorgeous. Thursday, guys, set your calendar, because Thursday we're going to do a soil health check out here as a baseline starting point soil health check. So in a couple years we can do it again and see where we're at. Let's check the alfalfa. There it is, guys. It's already started. You can see the little streaks of alfalfa. They're coming in nice. Oh man, in another month it's just going to be this beautiful sea of green out here. And in 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, we might be out here cutting. Oh, that smell and that sight of alfalfa. Oh boy, is that gorgeous. Yeah, yep. I was very nervous about this field after that big rain. But that's all right. Look at the holes. Look at the size of holes that have been made. Good golly. I'd be scared to death to run into that worm. They're everywhere. Oh boy, we better tile. Because there's no way water's going to drain off of that field. Jesus criminies. Yeah. All right, guys, let's go check out the oats and the soybeans. My, I don't know what you call it, disaster, awesome lucky experiment. These soybeans are knee high, guys. Look at, there's my knee. Them soybeans are knee high. That is hilarious. They are trying to get out of the oats to get sunlight, but they are good looking beans. I'm really happy. There you can see them right in there. It's super cool. The oats are heading out. By the end of the shoot, normally it's the end of July, but I bet it's going to be before the end of July. We're going to be out here trying to combine these things. Yeah, this is so awesome. You imagine what this is going to look like. If I can nip these oats off, even if I have to nip the top of the beans, if I nip these oats off and get some money revenue back on the oats, but just picture behind the beans, then the oats are going to die off, and these soybeans are going to be as green as grass, green rows in that dark green or in that brown field of oat straw. And you imagine behind the combine on the soybeans, all that oat straw going through the combine, all the bean residue going through the combine. Oh, this ground is just gonna light on fire. Light on fire. It needs it too. Look at it, it's pretty bare. It needs it. And this ground, I'd probably have to import worms. I don't know if you'd find worms on this field. Yeah, there's a couple. Oh yeah, there you can see they're building some new topsoil. So there are worms here, but boy, behind this folly, some of the neighbors had a pretty good chuckle at this when they're like, "What are you doing up there?" And they're like, "Oh, the oats look really good." I'm like, "Yeah, and the soybeans in there look really good too." And then the comedy ensues. But yeah, you imagine that ground. Oh baby, that is just gonna move that soil health forward 10 years. I think next year this would be super awesome to intercrop something with corn, or maybe just do this exact same thing again. Just pound this thing with oats, and then be right behind it with the planter. Whatever. That's for next year to worry about. The other cool thing is there's a couple weeds. There's a few random weeds out here. I can handle that. You know, a couple random weeds I can handle. It don't bother me, because if the beans are coming like this and the oats coming like that, they're a weed to each other. We don't know what they're going to yield. Maybe they'll yield 10 bushel on the beans and 10 bushel on the oats. We don't know. But we know, let's be honest, we know they're going to be fantastic beans, and they're going to be fantastic oats. Look at them. They're going to be gorgeous oats. There is no doubt there's a good oat crop here. What the beans do behind it, we don't know. But I might just do this exact same thing again next year. Maybe instead of oats, some rye, cereal rye, or rye grass. Probably cereal rye, so then at least it heads out and dies off. So come combining time of soybeans, it's just all just dry chaff out here. But the weed control is super cool. So I saved 20 bucks an acre on weed control, guys. That's 2 bushel on the beans or 10 bushel on the oats. However you want, wherever you want to take that money from. But look at all the oat seeds right there. Jeepers. Holy cow. I don't know if my grain buggy's going to be enough for 7 acres. But yeah, this is super cool. A little volunteer alfalfa. How awesome is that? That is super cool. I am absolutely loving this mess. A couple of people asked, well, what about weeds? And it's just like the whole field's a weed to each other. Who cares what else is coming through? As long as we don't see ragweed and water hemp, which we do not. How awesome is that? Who says, ragweed and water hemp, we still got a long ways to go. I'm not celebrating by any means, because them are late germinating plants. They'll germinate in August and September and just come right on up. But so far, there's enough cover here that there's nothing really gonna get germinated. But yeah, so that's that, guys. That concludes this week's crop tour. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for listening to me and watching my videos and supporting me. Don't forget to subscribe and share these videos with your friends so you can have a good chuckle at that East Minnesota goofball and have fun with it. Make it into a drinking game. I'll start saying pert near and oofta every once in a while. You guys can have a drinking game of every time I say something like that. And so, all right, guys, thank you very much again, and good evening.